Hello everybody, my name is Jimmy Smith and welcome to another Grape Varieties, this one on Furmint. This is our intermediate version, which is ideal for WSET Level 2. If you require more information about the history of Furmint, the etymology, the viticulture, the vinification and production processes making famous wines behind it, then please look at our advanced version, which is ideal for WSET Level 3 and above. But let's rock on with the Level 2 suitable intermediate version. So these are our social media handles. So at Wine with Jimmy is mine on Instagram and Twitter. Please get in touch if you have any comments or questions. The wine school I own in West London is at West London Wine. And then in South London as well, in Streatham and Greenwich, South London Wine, and our wine bar, which is also down in Streatham Wine House. Please, if you're in London, get in touch for a class or a glass. It'll be great to see you. So let's move on to the Furmint variety, a very classic variety from Eastern Europe. Really, Hungary is its home. So it is a white grape variety from the northeast of Hungary, from a place called Tokai. Yeah, nice and famous place. And you probably have heard of Tokai as being quite a famous wine, crafted mainly from this grape variety. Furmint is naturally exceedingly high in acidity. So this means that it makes remarkably fresh white wines. It can make really good sweet wines as it balances out the sugar, and also white wines quite capable of aging. It is susceptible to Botrytis Cinerea, which is noble rot. Here is a picture of it, quite extreme version, but that is noble rot in action there. The process where the grape sugars are concentrated by a fungal mold, which evaporates the water from the grape, concentrating the grape sugars. This, of course, will make grapes exceedingly high in sugar, lower in water content, making overall very sweet wines. So dry to sweet wines are produced. The most famous is the sweet wine, but actually around 50 to 60% of the wine of Tokai is in fact normal dry wine, so dry Furmint. It just doesn't have the international acclaim as much as the famous sweet wine, but dry to sweet and even sparkling is produced from this variety. The most famous, as mentioned, is Tokaj Aszu. Aszu means nobly rot. So this is Tokai with noble rot. So it is a sweet wine, and it is mainly utilizing this grape variety. So if you just see the word Tokai, that is the town, that is the place, but Aszu next to it means the sweet version of Tokai. And there are varying levels of sweetness. The ones that are important for you to know for your level 2 certificate is that you may see 5 or 6 putunyos on the label. This is in fact an old basket that they would use for collecting the nobly rotted grapes and bringing to the winery. So basically more of these means more sugar. So 6 putunyos is more sweet than 5 putunyos. So that will give you more complexity and concentration. And once they are made into wine, they will be matured for a fairly long time in oak casks, these Aszu wines, Tokai Aszu wines. So this the last few points here are just about Tokai Aszu made from Furmint. But you will find normal dry wines matured in oak as well, and some of them, of course, not. It's a very versatile grape, Furmint. So where do we find the grape variety Furmint? Of course, we find it in Hungary, in this area, which is in the northeast of Hungary. You'll see the town of Tokai is just down here. And it's right next to a hill. It's got 2 wonderful rivers very close to it, which is the Tijva and the Bodrog. And both of those bring in very essential humidity, which is important for noble rot. So there's about 96, 97% of Hungary's Furmint comes from up in this Tokai region of around 4,000 hectares. So it's very famous. There is Furmint found in other countries in Eastern Europe. Slovenia, Croatia as well have a bit, but it's mainly here. Of course, all you need to know about it. Now, It is dry to sweet. So this picture of all the fruits and flavors tends to be for your drier wines. You can get some of them in the sweet as well. But you'll see here on the left, we have apple. We have a little bit of things like pear, pineapple, mango. Really, the more fresh fruits, things like apple, lemon, pear, will tend to be found in the drier wines, along with that high acid. And then, of course, with sugar compounds in the sweeter wines, you'll find things more like pineapple, mango, but things like dried apricots, very sweet notes. And as they're aged in oak, as you'll see in the back there, often the sweet wines will have a lot of caramelization to them. So you'll often find things like toffee, caramel, but also things like butterscotch, vanilla, honeyed characters as well. And there's honey in that picture too. So it does depend on the style. For your level 2 certificate, they're really only asking you about Tokaj Aszu, which is the sweetest style, with a heavy amount of oak, lots of sugar, lots of acidity, and big complexities. They are wines that can age very well, be it dry or sweet. They age very well. Of course, sweets will age a lot longer. And we're talking something like decades, and the very best examples are said to go over a century. That's because of the high concentrations of sugar along with the acidity, so it takes a long time to develop. One key thing to mention is just about the Tokaj Aszu, the sweet style. The colouring of it tends to be this really wonderful kind of amber colour, and that's due to the sugar. That's due to the oxidation which happens in the oak casks as well. So there are some Tokaj Aszus which are more golden, but amber is the most famous colour for it. And that really is the sort of intermediate, quite introductory look at the grape variety Furmint and moving into Tokaj Aszu. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something. Please have a look at our websites, West London Wine School, South London Wine School, for more courses, both professional and more introductory. We have a lot of winemakers. We have online tastings as well. Please come to our bar, Streatham Winehouse, which has over 300 different wines by the bottle and loads by the glass as well. So in London, please come and see us for a class or a glass. Thank you very much for your time. I've been Jimmy Smith. See you again soon.